Just when I thought the PlayStation Classic was over and dead, the AutoBleem and Magnus RC bring us this fully loaded image that honestly blew my socks off. I mean, to have Half-Life, Diablo, Doom, Wolfenstein, Open Bore, Amiga, Atomiswave, all your consoles, huge Mame arcade set. It even has cartoons and videos to play on it. Just when I had thought I'd seen it all, this little, single board computer basically, but this little throwback system is packing a punch, and people continue to customize it and build new features. It has a beautiful theme. It's well optimized, and you can easily throw in some additional PlayStation games and additional games, but Nintendo DS, portable games, Sega, Nintendo, it's all on here. So in this video, we're going to go ahead and start the video off just showing off the front end. Then I'll show you how to get this set up on your PlayStation Classic. Then I'll show you all the different games that are on it. And then we'll finish off with some gameplay. So strap in. This one is pretty darn cool. It doesn't get much cheaper as far as retro gaming on the PS Classic. You're going to want to check this one out. On first boot, you should see something like this, and I just jumped in the options really quick and changed my theme and turned off the background music. I am using a Xbox 360 controller for this, but you can use the PlayStation Classic controller. A lot of 8-bit DOE controllers work for this. It's amazing. You will be using L2 and select a lot to change between the systems in the main front end when you go into the AutoBleem. These are some of the apps that are pre-installed, but if you hit that, if I go over again, you can see the PlayStation games, both the original ones and a couple add-ons. There's also a Mame menu there. You can see all the Mame games, your arcade games. There's a really big Mame set on here as well. So here I am changing between the systems. As you see, you have history, you have the different Nintendos, you have the different SNK consoles, you have the different Sega consoles. You also have your Atomiswave and your Mame. So you can easily see here we have Game Boy Advance, and look how beautiful it is. You have box art for every single game. For some of the arcade games, you have box art, screen art, and logo art. As you see here, I'm back to the apps. Apps installed, you got Open Bore, Prince of Persia, Martathon. You even have Half-Life installed on this. So I was just getting a little crazy there with my shifting between the different consoles, but you can easily shift through everything. So here we go. Then you have NES hacks and homebrews. You have Super Nintendo hacks. You have regular Super Nintendo. You have Super Famicom. So you really have almost every console from Nintendo all the way, the portables, all the way to arcade sets to Sega 32X. So really you can run all these games just fine. Again, because of the controller compatibility, you can easily run different controllers. As I mentioned, I'm just blown away by the amount of detail that's in this build. I wrote off the PlayStation Classic at first. I was late to the game when they finally got to $20. I mean, this is ridiculous. It even runs TurboGrafx 16. It is Atomiswave actually ran pretty okay on this. It also has Amiga installed and a few others. I'll actually show you all the different games and how many per system when I'm looking through the actual file structure. It has Diablo, Doom, Duke Nukem 3D. It also has Drastic, so it's going to play Nintendo DS games as well. And you can always load additional PlayStation games if you like. Here it is in Retro Boot. You can also access all the RetroArch and get into the different games and things. There's some videos in here. There's actually some movies. You can add your own as well. I think it's kind of cute, kind of cool. Like, it's a cool idea. And they're on this little CRT bezel, and that's all fine. But I'm not going to be watching any movies on it. But it's just cool to see that you can add all this additional features to the build. So over here on the right, I have my USB drive, which is 128 gigabyte. I'll put a link to that, and I have it titled Sony all caps, and as you see, exFAT. And over here, I downloaded the build. I went ahead and extracted it. I just did 7-zip extract here, and here it is all here. I'm just going to Control A, Control C, and paste that into my drive. It's going to take a bunch of time. But while that's going, if you want the Sega 8-bit to 32X add-on pack, again, you'll just copy this, paste it into there. If you want the NES Super Famicom and Game Boy Advance add-on, you do that. And then there's a Trigon add-on and a Batman Beyond add-on as well. Again, these were all zipped to start. Now these all 5 are unzipped up here. and you would just transfer them over. In this video, I'm just going to transfer over these first 3. Once this transfer completes, I'm going to go ahead and put it in my PlayStation Classic and boot it up. So as far as games, it has 474 Mame games. It has 10 episodes of Batman. Game Gear, you got 313 games. Game Boy Advance, over the whole set, over 1,000. Genesis hacks and unreleased, you got 53 of those. Sega Master System 360. Sega Mega Drive, also known as Genesis, you got 937. Nintendo DS, you got 67 games, including all the really good ones. Contra, Mario Kart, etc. NES, you got the whole set. NES hacks, you got 112. Neo Geo Pocket, got 16 or 15. Neo Geo Pocket Color, got about 76. Atomiswave, you have 1, 2. It was only like a dozen, I want to say, or less. Saturday morning cartoons. Sega 32X, you got 36. SG 1000, you got 78. So this is Sega Master System hacks, 15. SNES, you got the whole set. SNES hacks, you got 105. Famicom, you have 221. Neo Geo, you got 148. And TurboGrafx 16, you got 93. Then on top of that, some PlayStation games right here. Some added PlayStation games. You got 82 or so Amiga games. Then you got Martathon 1, 2, 3 games. Open Bore, you've got 5. And as you see, quite a bit of themes installed here as well. So the build is only 28.2 gigabytes by itself, but once you add the Sega and the SNES, you can see here I have that all on. It's up to 40 gigabytes, so you can no longer fit on a 32. So you actually have a few options here. You can absolutely put it on a 128, 256, 512 gigabyte. But what I would do is put it on like a 256 or a 128 and just add a few more PlayStation games if it was me. But you can always add more videos or more of something else if you'd like. But as you see here, you can easily fit it on a 64 as is.
Welcome to the HEV back on protective system. Your use has activated my glasses again.
Do what we must because we can.
This battle is about to explode.
So in conclusion, a fabulous image. Again, I wasn't necessarily a fan of the video files. You can easily take those off, but wow, have we come a long way. This front end is gorgeous. I remember back in the day where, it was just a few extra PlayStation games, and now we have themes and background music, and it's just easy, more compatibility than ever. So with all that said, I got to give this one an A. Now I have to admit that the PS Classic is not a super powerful single board computer, and I think it was kind of my capture card, because when I was playing it through my monitor, it didn't seem as laggy when I was rewatching the footage. Now that being said, it's not very powerful. So if you want even better emulation, spend the money and buy a little bit more powerful of a device. But like I said, for cheap retro gaming with a really tricked out front end, I mean, it's just impressive of all the different features and customization that's been done here. So big thumbs up for that. Love the image. So anyways, that's what I think. Let me know what you all think. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.